Okay, here's putting the passenger foot pegs on a 2021 Honda Rebel 1100. A little more complicated than it ought to be probably, but not terrible. Basically, this is the two bolts that it goes to. You can see them inside there. There's one and there's the other, and it goes through these two places here. There's a side cover in there, that was this one right here, that goes up like that, comes out from the bottom, mostly just unsnaps, but there is a place here at the top where there's just a little push pin that goes in. This is it right here, if you see that very well or not, but there's just a little push pin right there, goes in that. And then they sent a new plate that goes in there. It's shaped a little bit different to allow for it. So what we got to do is get some hex head sockets the proper size, remove these two bolts, and then the foot peg should slip up under right like that. The hex head is a 8mm, and it goes in one like this, and the other one right here, probably to go behind those wires, and it also goes in there pretty well. It's like a pretty decent fit. And then just take those out. Here's one of the bolts that comes out. As you can see, it's got a little flat washer on the side. I decided to put these in one at a time, so I'm going to put the bottom one in first and get the bolt back into it. There we go. And get the bolt back into it, and then I'll lift it up and put the other one in. I don't think it's going to change make the frame drop any, but I'm a little nervous that it might, so I'll do that. Here's a look from the other side. These I'm just still screwing in by hand, so they're going in pretty easy actually. Not really much of a problem doing that. I just got to tighten them up now. So you can see a little bit better. There's the two bolts. Had to undo, and this is the part of the footrest. These extra wires here are from my automatic brake light, that when you let off the gas, it blinks, to let the cars behind you know that you're slowing down. Now, oh, I forgot to mention too, it's obvious though, but the tool tray has to come out first, and that means there's a screw here and a screw right here and two screws at the bottom to get that out. And then once that's out, it allows the side cover to come off. That's so you can get your hands in there a little bit better. I'm not sure that I really had to do that, but at the time it seemed like I probably would, so I did. Okay, this cover here does not go up underneath. It just simply lays in on top. It goes in right like that, and then lays on top so that hole lines up there for that push button. And then over here there's a little spot for it to go. See if I can show you here a little bit better. Spot for it to go right there. You can see how it goes down in there. Just lays right there is all it does. And let's take it back. It's got one more notch to go on there, right there. It goes on the side right over there. The little pin that was holding that plastic shroud in, it comes in two parts. The fat one goes in first, and then you push the skinner in to snap it into place so that it stays. It simply spreads out these little prongs on the side and holds those plastic pieces together. My brake modulator is going to give me a little bit of trouble. I had to move the modulator itself up to here. Goes right inside there. Then I plugged it back in. Now I'm going to put in my tray with my switch into it. Make sure it fits. If I didn't have those, it would have just slipped right in. Okay, got it back in the tool tray, and got my wires to my brake modulator properly done, and the wires to my USB outlet properly done. And if I turn on the key and watch the brake lights, it should flash once, and it did. So that means my brake modulator is working okay. All right, so now all I got to do is put the side plate back on, the one that says 1100 on the side. And I want to point out one thing that I made a mistake on earlier, about a month ago, is that once this side plate is put on, it's held in place by this little hole right here, which goes in through that hole. And all that holds it is this. Reason I say I made a mistake is because I went out for a test drive and didn't bother putting that back in, and I lost this side plate on the highway. Luckily, when I got home, I realized it was gone and went back and found it, and it wasn't really harmed. It was just in the grass. So it was okay, but keep in mind that right there is what holds it in. These two little spots on the side here don't do squat hardly, except just kind of help hold it in place. Okay, doing the right side passenger foot peg should be a lot easier. There's one bolt right here that holds the muffler on, and that should just go through there like that and uses the same bolt to hold it on. In fact, the whole thing did not come with any instructions or extra bolts or anything, just 3 or 4 parts, and here, put it on. It also wasn't packaged very well. Honda could have done a lot better with that. When I got some parts from my Kawasaki, they came well padded. This takes a 12mm wrench. This bolt came out easy for the right side. It's got an odd looking washer on the back side. It's also got the little nut. That's at 12mm. I believe that's also a 12mm for the front if you need that. I didn't need it. Both sides are in now. These go up and down nicely. Should be out of the way. They seem a little bit high to me. I haven't put the pillion seat on there yet because I've got my Kuriak Pet Palace holder on there first for my little dog to go riding with me. And you can see I've got my 2 straps there that hold that on. Those are just aluminum. I painted them black. Same thing on each side. And then these straps here go up to the Kuriak Pet Palace. And here's the left side. It's all on there nice and solid. It goes up and down like it ought to. And all I got to do now is simply put it back together. I got a sneaking suspicion that this little plastic tray here may be trouble. It will go in from the bottom side here, but we'll see. If there's anything weird, I'll add it in. It's all installed now. The rear foot pegs. There's one. There's the other. All I got to do now is when I get ready to put the pillion seat on. But it's very simple. There's just a screw right here, and there's a screw up under the seat right in there. You can see that or not, but there's a screw right in there. Undo those and it just screws right on. And then I get to take my wife for a ride. So all I've got to say is there's nothing stopping us now but fear and common sense, and we don't have either one, so we're good to go. Just in case anybody's wondering, I've got 2 gizmos connected to my battery. One of them is this extra USB port on the back. The wire goes along there, and it plugs in to the other wire, which then actually goes down. Here's the other wire, and actually goes down and plugs onto the battery. And then the second thing is the automatic brake modulator. That's this gizmo here. ST2, and it connects to the rear brake lights, and then a little power switch. It's this one right here. I've got an extra switch in there for it though, and that is, where did it go? Oh, here it is. It's on my tool couch or tool holder, and it goes like that, so I can turn it on and off. The reason I have it turned on and off like that is because I found out that the cruise control is turned off whenever the brake lights come on. That's how it knows when to turn off. And so every time the brake modulator would work, it would turn off my cruise control. That aggravated me, so I put this little switch in here, so when I'm in town I use the brake modulator, so cars behind me know I'm slowing down, and on the highway I want to cruise, I turn it to the off position, and then it doesn't turn off the cruise control. And basically, it's a pretty simple install once you see where the wires go and all. And I've put another video up on YouTube that shows where the wires go and everything.